The Big Lebowski.
Oh,
That's who he looks like. He looks like somebody from
Yeah. And we're live. All right. I'm going to pull this up.
What's live?
We're live. Well, let's people get going. This is going to be the first podcast that's actually going to be uploaded directly from here to
Really?
Yeah, to iTunes and
Decent.
to hopefully Stitcher. All right, so I've got Cary Miller with the Cary Miller Band in here. Holla,
dude.
holla Cary Miller. So if you've never heard of Cary Miller, he is a world famous
Yeah.
a world famous
Let's make
musician.
that happen.
Yeah.
Let's make that happen.
Cary Miller's a good friend of mine, and I feel like we've done a lot of cool things together. And I wanted to bring him on and maybe tell a little bit about your story, how you got started, and kind of some of the shit that you're doing. What do you think? You good with that? Is there anything you don't want to talk about? I'll talk about some shit, but you don't have to say it, but you know what I mean. I know. I know.
First of all, I just want to address the that Sean Briles guy that you had on last week. That using my CDs for fire starters. The guy has some shitty welds. That's all I'm saying. But obviously, you know, that's a running joke. He's actually a really good welder, and it's just a joke that we have.
For those of you that are watching, Cary Miller has got the recliner in lounge mode.
Kicked back.
I love how good you look.
I'm relaxing, dude. This chair. Who gave you this thing?
Shout out to Ramers, dog.
There you go.
Ramers is sponsor of these chairs. Shout out Ramers.
Yeah, these chairs are decent.
Yeah, man, I'm really happy with them.
I like them.
So for those of you that don't know who Cary Miller is, he's with the Cary Miller Band. You can find his music on iTunes, Spotify, Google,
everywhere in the digital realm.
Yeah. What would you say your favorite song is?
My favorite song, personally, is "Feels Like Home." I like that one, but a lot of people dig "Thank Hank."
Yeah, that's a good one.
I love that song. That's another one of my favorites. But
yeah, I remember when Cary FaceTimed me when you were writing that. I remember it was kind of late. And, hey, I just came up with this song. I need you to listen to it right now. And as soon as I heard it, I was like, oh, dude, that's solid. I'm not a huge country music listener, but I really liked that song, and I still do.
And that's the coolest part is people that don't really care for country music,
mm-hmm.
and they can sit there and tell you dude, do you have a CD? Dude.
Yeah.
I would listen to you all day. I call those the 1%ers.
Yeah.
Because
I like that.
It literally takes so much to just make somebody even want to tap their foot while they're listening to music.
Really?
Yeah, it really does. Because it takes about 5 seconds to figure out if you like somebody or not.
Somebody or music?
Music-wise.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it's nah. You know what I mean? That's how any of these record labels or anything, that's literally all you get, 5 to 10 seconds, and they
oh god,
they pop your CD in or whatever, the music you send them, they listen, and if it doesn't appeal to them within the first 5 to 10 seconds, then you're just...
So you got to be quick.
Yeah.
You got to be on it.
You got to have that out the door.
Yeah.
Best song you got. Here it is. Full production, pretty much nowadays.
Yeah.
You can't just send somebody an acoustic of you in your living room.
Right. It's just not. It's not going to
happen.
Yeah, it's not going to
happen. Would they play that on the radio? No, they're not going to play that on the radio.
Right. So it's got to be
anybody else give it the time of day?
Yeah, it's got to be radio quality then. Right?
Yeah, it's radio quality. I mean, you have to spend money to make money.
Yeah. Man, I'll tell you what though. I think the coolest part of everything is at least in my eyes has just been the journey, even together, me and Cary, we've known each other how long? Probably 2-3 years
at least.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
Yeah, and it doesn't feel like it. We met through Snapchat. And
how crazy is that?
Yeah. So I built this big audience on Snapchat, and somehow or another, me and Cary got linked
It's
up.
like in a group. Somebody linked us in a group together, and I'm like,
Like,
man,
oh,
this guy's freaking hilarious.
yeah. So you liked it, okay?
And so I was like, well, I'm just gonna add this guy individually.
Yeah. Well, and I thought it was cool because remember, like the first thing you said was you're like, "Hey, dude, I'll trade you my shirt for your
Yeah.
shirt," and I was like, that's not like a common thing that I get asked. So I'm like, naturally, like, all right,
Yeah, why
send it.
not?
Yeah,
It's like we're trying to spread. Like that was the way of being
yeah,
like, dude, I'm gonna spread your name.
yeah,
If you give me a shirt, I'm gonna wear it. Obviously, people are gonna see it and be like, what's this Brandon Briles thing? Or they're gonna
yeah,
like take a picture of it
yeah.
and link them instantly to your Snapchat.
Man, and it was. I thought that was a really cool kind of icebreaker, and then like we got to talking, and
The
we
first time.
yeah, and it was man, it was cool, and then like I remember like we started talking on the phone, and then I was like, dude,
Well, it had been probably at least 8 months or so
yeah,
into it or whatever, and
yeah,
I don't know what it was. I think maybe the recording.
yeah,
Whenever I came
yeah,
up
that was
here
the first time that you
to
came here, yeah,
Terre Haute, Indiana, to record at
yeah.
Last Day Productions, which they're absolutely amazing. If you're
Shout out,
in the music industry
shout out
and
Last
you
Day
want
Productions.
really good quality recordings, Terre Haute, Indiana, Last Day Productions. The guy who owns it, his name's Mark Rogers, and he played lead guitar for David Lee Murphy. Dust on the Bottle, or might be a little Dust on the Bottle, or whatever.
Yeah,
like his whole career. Him and his sons own the studio. Totally professional, really good on prices. So if you're a musician or you know any musician friends, let them know about that in Terre Haute.
yeah, and well, so like I remember when you had came down, and I'm the world's worst,
But that's what it was too. It's like
host, man.
Sorry.
No, you're good.
Well, I was getting ready, and I'm just like, oh man, I don't really know this guy.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm like, do I bring my gun? Like, is he gonna like kill me?
Maybe.
And he's thinking the same thing. Like, am I gonna kill this guy? Is like he gonna be a weirdo? Like, is it gonna be weird? And his friends, are like, you're gonna let him stay at your house? And he's like,
coming.
oh yeah,
he's good.
It's just Cary.
Yeah, he's good.
And I'm like, it's just Brandon. It's Brandon. I don't need a gun.
Dude, I remember that. So Cary shows up here and he's like, yeah, dude, I'm just gonna stay here. And I guess he had told me that it was gonna be a couple days. I didn't know that. Thought it was one.
Brandon thinks it's in and out in a recording studio.
Yeah,
That's
so I'm
works.
thinking, all right, well, okay, he's gonna go down there right on. So he gets here. Hey, dog, you got a blanket or a pillow? Nope. Had no pillow, had no blanket.
I'm sleeping under the cushions to stay warm.
Dude, sleeping on my cold leather couch. And then he goes to record the next day, and he calls me. He's like, hey, sorry I missed everybody or whatever. I was like, yeah, man, I know. There was a couple people that wanted to meet you here.
Long days.
Yeah, sorry about that. But maybe next time. And then he's like, maybe next time. Yeah, I thought you were done tonight, right? You're going back? Well, I'm going back to your house. I got to come here and record the next.
Yeah, we got like maybe 2 songs done that day, just the music.
Yeah, and I'm over here like thinking that's a wrap, dude. I was like, well, he's going back, whatever. And we got a comment on here that says, let's go to Nashville. Let me tell you a little something about going to Nashville.
Oh, no.
So me and Cary Miller go to Nashville. We have a splendid time.
May or may have not have been Cary Miller.
Yeah, allegedly.
This is...
So we're at this place, and I'm hopped up on Red Bulls. Cary's
probably Colorado Kool-Aids.
Yeah. Cary's getting wild, and I'm drinking Red Bull nonstop. I was gonna have a heart attack that night, I think. And so I'm like fully coherent. I know what's going on. I'm watching things unfold around me, and I realize quickly that Cary's getting into an altercation with this young gentleman. Allegedly, yeah. And so this other dude that we were with, the guy was very cool. Shannon, shout out to you, Shannon.
We'll see.
We'll see if you're watching this, brother. Hey,
We love Shannon.
We'll see. We'll see.
We'll see.
So, so Shannon's standing there, which is a friend of ours, and this drunk dude comes up next to Shannon, and this guy like softly backhands him, and I'm like, oh, that's kind of odd. But it was like you could hit a kid that hard and it'd be okay. But like this guy didn't know what he was doing, and so I grabbed the guy's buddy, and I'm like the only one that's sober out of the whole group, and I was like, hey, get your friend and get him out of here before somebody punches him. And the guy's like, okay, I'm sorry, man. The dude was kind of drunk, but he was like kind of chill about it. And he's like, all right, man, yeah, I'll get him. I'm sorry about that. I'm like, all right. Then the dude doesn't get him. Now they're both standing there. So then the guy smacks Shannon again.
And that's when I was like, hey.
Yeah. So then
I was like, hey, man, my buddy just asked you to take your buddy out of here. He's too drunk to be in here. He's putting hands on people, and you can take him home and come back, and it'll all be good. Just don't do it again.
About that time, everything goes all to hell. The wheels fall off, and I look over, and I'm not shitting you. Cary Miller is wearing flip-flops. Wearing flip-flops in this place.
Like old Jimmy Buffett.
And he Sparta kicks this young man in like the sternum. Allegedly. Sparta kicks this young man, and he goes flying into a group of people. And it just reminded me of bowling, because you just said, like, it looked like for those of you that played Grand Theft Auto Vice City, do you remember that dance club that like you would go into and you could throw like a grenade in there and like it would kill everybody? And like everybody would blow down in unison. That was what happened when Cary kicked this dude. He flies into a bunch of people, everybody falls down,
like bowling pins.
And I'm looking over and I'm like, oh my God, what in the hell are you doing? And Cary's standing there and he's pissed off. This guy is laying on the ground, and I'm thinking all hell is about to break loose. And then the bouncers ended up getting that guy out of there. But I was in awe that you kicked a guy in sandals.
And I didn't lose one.
You didn't, dude. You should have took it off and threw it at him like an old Mexican mom,
Smack his hands.
Yeah,
bad boy.
Bad.
You're
no.
bad.
Yeah, you're not doing that. Dude, my dad's in here. My dad said still needing more fire starters.
Oh my gosh.
Dad, you missed it. Cary's already shitting on you.
Better start melting down that steel you're welding there.
Cary said your welds look like shit, Dad. Man, but yeah, so that was a fun time in Nashville. But that was my first time in Nashville. I've been through Nashville.
But this was all alleged. This
didn't actually. This was a dream.
Oh, yeah. Me and Brandon shared the same dream.
Yeah, yeah. But man, I tell you what though, I think I've been to Nashville. Well, been around Nashville probably 10 times, close to, I'd say. Been through or around, but I've never stopped in Nashville until then. And that was the most fun a guy could have, I think, in like however long. We were there for like 4 or 5 days. We were there for the Nashville Music Awards, and even that was an experience. I met a lot of cool people, and I know Cary did too. And it was just
pretty sweet.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun, I thought. It was something cool to be a part of, I think.
Yeah.
So what's next? What's next on the Cary Miller agenda? Do you have anything in the works?
I don't have anything lined out right now.
Yeah.
I'm kind of in the middle of some personal things, and I'm trying to get some stuff lined out.
Hell yeah.
And figure stuff out.
I know the when did you record the last CD? What year was that? Was it 20? That'd have been 27. What is it? Late 2017 or early 2018?
Yeah, I think it was early 18.
Yeah, I know it hadn't been out that long.
Yeah.
And man, it's so cool though, because
I don't know. I'll tell you when I uploaded it to iTunes, like when it was released.
Oh yeah, at the bottom. Yeah. It's so cool though, because somehow I think because we kind of done a lot of cool things together that people just automatically assume I know everything about you and what you're doing. But even still, people come up to me, "How's your friend Cary doing?" Not Cary Miller. What's he doing? Like I'm not Cary Miller. I don't know.
People ask me all the time, "Hey, where's Brandon?" Well, I'm like, I don't know. He lives like
hours away.
Which is really weird, because I almost feel like it's so weird, dude. Like, you know how when you meet like certain people in life and it just clicks, kind of like you and
Adam.
But like,
yeah,
it's like we went to high school together, or
Dude,
like we lived down the.
Yeah, it's so crazy.
Like I live down the street.
I think it's so cool because I think it's a rare thing that you run into. I always say this, but life is filled full of interactions with people, and obviously some people are going to be piss poor communicators, and like everyone's going to have their weaknesses, and sometimes you're going to have negative impacts on other people, but it's rare that you find a good solid person that you can really hold a conversation with. And then even I think the toughest challenge is when you are apart, that you can pick right back up from where you started, and like, so if I didn't talk to you for a year tomorrow, the next time that we talked, I feel like we would just come right back to where we were. I think that's the coolest thing. And finding a relationship like that with another person is very difficult. And when
we stay in pretty good constant contact though too.
Yeah, for sure. But I mean, even if we didn't, I think that
just even talking, not even like, hey dude, like, what are you doing? Just to talk,
just to shoot the shit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just I don't know, it's weird.
Yeah, I just think it's the coolest thing though, when you find you find another person that you can hold that with. And like a lot of times for me, I felt that people that you grow up with, you'll have that. Your good friends from high school, it'll be a select few, and as you get older, the group will shrink a little bit. But when you find a good person that you can always pick right back up with, I think that's a tough thing. And when you find those type of people, you got to hold them close, and you got to do shit that let them know that you care. I don't know, it's me getting a little soft, but
man, that's sweet.
Yeah,
Brand, every time we hang up the phone,
love you. Yeah, every time I get off the phone, sometimes even people think like, oh, you got a girlfriend? Yeah, you got a girlfriend? Yeah, you got a girlfriend now? No, dog, I do not have a girlfriend. I'm not in the market. I'm trying to steer clear.
I love you.
Yeah, I love you.
What's that? I don't know. Wrong number.
Yeah, yeah. It's my dad.
I don't know.
My dad.
Yeah. So,
what do you think of the podcast studio?
Dude, I think this is awesome.
Do you like it?
Yeah.
Does it feel like everyone asks me, and I feel like, maybe I'm a little biased because I put the shit together, but everyone always asks, like, when you sit down, does it feel natural? And this is obviously the first time you've seen it. Does this feel natural to you? Like natural seating, like, looking through this shit and like seeing each other? Like, is there anything?
Yeah, we have some obstacles in the way, but we're just having a conversation.
Yeah. Still pretty comfy.
Yeah. I'm in a recliner, kick back.
Yeah. Just chilling.
But, it's a lot different than just getting on live.
Like the feel?
Yeah, because when you just go live and you have your phone in front of you and you're talking and you expect to hear a response back, but you can't, so you're like trying to read people's comments and stuff.
That's tough, yeah.
And to respond to it while also keeping your own topic going. And nobody's talking back, but it's easier because literally, like,
it's just me and you.
We're talking.
That's how I felt. So when I first started when I had the idea of a podcast and actually doing it, that was actually one of the selling points for me. Is I was thinking, I started going on live, like Facebook Live with my phone, just looking at it a lot. And I know you did too. And
we did the live thing with us in the box.
Yeah, together. Yeah. And I liked doing that. I thought it was fun, and I thought that it made it much easier because you had that interaction that was missing when you just do it by yourself. And so I thought, well, what's the best way that you could capture that and it be like a real one-on-one experience to where you could actually talk to another person, get them in there. And then I was like, well, okay, I could do a podcast, but how would I make this work? And then I came up with this kind of cobbled up design. And then I actually think I'm actually really happy with it. I think everything's turned out pretty well. There's been some tech issues here and there, and
well, you'll have that. This is the second one, right?
Yeah, this is technically the third, I guess, on the podcast, which is now available, by the way. I have had so many messages, and I'm sorry if I haven't responded back, if it's text or whatever. I have so many messages right now of, I can't find your podcast on iTunes, and it is finally available. So what happens is when you create a podcast, Shannon's in the house. What's up, Shannon? We just talked about
you missed it.
Some alleged actions in Nashville.
We'll see.
Yeah, I see you. We'll see. Once you get, where were we at on that Sprite, partner? But and so when I first I was like trying to figure out.
Hey, can I just get a Sprite?
We'll see.
We'll see. Like Dad.
Yeah. But so when I wanted the podcast to take off, I quickly realized that it wasn't as easy as I thought it was going to be. So you have to have a podcast host, and then
Michael Castleberry's in there.
They push out your information to other platforms like iTunes and like Spotify and Stitcher, Google, all the above. And so you have to set all that stuff up. Well, then on top of that, it's like a 7-day wait and all this. It's just jumping through a ton of hoops. Anyways, so now if you look for my podcast, it's called The B Team. It's hosted by Brandon Briles. You can type in The B Team and you'll find it, but it's towards the end because it's such a new podcast. You can type in Brandon Briles and it will pop up. It'll pop up on Spotify right now, and it'll also pop up on iTunes. Stitcher's in the works as well as Google. Probably within the next, I would say next week, it should be available on both those platforms as well.
I think you need to get a light up underneath that. Like from the floor.
Yeah, I considered it. I
it?
actually thought about doing like 3 lights so they would shine down on the poster.
Oh, angle it.
Or
like
not poster,
up there.
Yeah, Wild Graphics. Shout out to Wild Graphics. They made this for me.
Awesome.
And I'm
very nice.
Very nice.
Maybe
yes, it's a slick banner. It is screwed to the wall.
Yeah. So I mean, well, there's Casey and Andrew.
Yeah, you can roll through here if you want to say hey to anybody that's watching.
Somebody said hi earlier. I didn't know who it was. Joe M. Brandenburg. What's up?
Oh, what's up, Joe? How are you? Yeah, I like Joe. He's a real good guy, and he's very down to earth, and he knows what he's talking about on some shit. And I like that. Derek
said he's coming to see me.
Derek, do not knock on my door. I swear to God, I'll kill you. I forgot.
He's gonna put hot sauce in your pizza again.
I've had so many people ask me about that, man. I have. Do you make your friends eat hot shit all the time?
Dude, the one with freaking Matt and his belly button.
That poor man.
Oh my gosh, dude. I laugh so hard.
That poor man will never live that down. We're going to Vegas. Me and
Did
Matt.
it ever get infected?
No, it didn't.
After he took it out?
No. So what happened was everyone asked if the phone call. Remember the phone call in the beginning of my video?
Yeah.
If it was staged.
I asked you that.
Yeah,
I was
a lot of people
was that
did.
fake?
A lot of people did, and it was not. It was not staged. I legit grabbed my camera and I thought, all right, well, if this doesn't pan out, then I'll just delete it, or I'll have something. But if it works, then it's going to be hilarious.
And I know you're all about catching as much reel as you can. And as soon as you told me, like, no, that wasn't fake, I believed you, because I'm like, he wouldn't stage it. He wants it to be as real as possible.
All my videos, man, that's like the whole, and part of this
he
podcast
said he's gonna honk.
Derek don't honk, dude. This has got to go on iTunes and shit. I don't want to hear that honk. But anyways, so when I first started the podcast, even and doing
it's got to go on iTunes. What if I fart?
Yeah, you'll hear it. The mics are very sensitive. But when I first started the podcast and I started doing my YouTube videos, that was like the whole premise behind everything. Is I was like, I want this to be authentic. So even with like this setup, I want it to be like not scripted. There's no scripts. I have a bulletin board.
It's just reminders up there, honestly, that says reminders, so he can thank his sponsors and
and other
don't forget to look at comments.
Yeah,
and mute his audio, and that's basically it.
And so like with my videos too, is I wanted my videos to follow that same suit of authenticity. And so when back to the Matt thing, I did. I just called him and I was like, hey dude, real question. What do you think about getting your belly button pierced? And it was a long phone call, but there was no negotiation, which is what's crazy. Everyone's like, how much did you pay him? Like, I was like, honestly, I didn't pay him. He didn't ask or nothing.
And I honestly believe that Matt would be the only person.
Yeah. The dude is a trooper, man. And so
do that.
I legit was like, hey, you want to get your belly button pierced for the vlog? He's like, no, dude, I don't want to do that. Please don't make me do that.
Dude, his face when he was like
so pissed, man.
He looked down at his belly button. He's like, what did he say? He said,
I don't know. I can't remember, but he was very pissed. And it was so funny because on the phone, he was just like he already knew it was done. He already knew it was a done deal.
He already had his mind made up when he asked him, like, dude, this is going to be hilarious, but it's going to suck.
Yeah. And so he's down. He's like, all right, man, whatever. I'll do it. And so we go and I bought the dumbest belly button ring I could possibly find, and it was a blue cupcake with some diamonds in it. It was a $40 belly button ring. And this thing's the size of it. Yeah, it's in my living room. but this thing's the size of a quarter, and
They can put it on a necklace and wear it.
Oh, yeah. like a class ring
Yes.
with some dental floss around it because
Yes.
it's mine. It doesn't quite fit.
Yes.
But and so I said, I'll pay for the thing and I'll pay to get it done. And he's down and he's like, dude, this is gonna really suck. And he was so pissed. And he did it, and then we did a couple of bits to where, I mean, they were obviously those were staged, but of him washing his car and shit with this stupid wig on, and
Oh, that was the best, man.
dude, and it goes on, and like people, some
do
folks,
a sexy pose, and he tucks his shirt.
sure, dude, and he had it
cuts
like
to-
that wasn't staged. I said, do a sexy pose on the car. Dude automatically jumps up and ties. For those people that are watching, you can see my shirt. But for those of you that are listening, like on iTunes, whatever, he takes the bottom of his shirt and then tucks it through the top of his shirt, pulls it out of the bottom. So he's got this belly shirt on now. And I mean, like, he didn't miss a beat. I just said, do a sexy pose. And that was what he came directly up with. And it was so funny. And then it cuts over to him washing the car. And it goes on for so long. It's like, I wanted it to be borderline awkward.
Dude, I laughed. I laughed for 20 minutes. No lie.
I went to bed that night and my face hurt from laughing. Like I was crying, I was laughing, and I was showing it to everybody that would watch it.
When he takes the wig off and he looks so mad.
He throws
like,
it.
And he throws
and it's slow-mo video, and you can see his cheeks. Like it looks like a boxer getting punched. His cheeks shake, and he's like winging this wig out. He's so pissed looking.
like biting his bottom lip. Like,
yeah. Yeah, so me and him we're going to Vegas, dude, and
that's gonna be something crazy.
Yeah, we're going to Vegas, and I think
he's going to jail.
Yeah, for sure, it's a wrap.
He's going to jail if y'all go to Vegas.
So we're leaving December, like first week of December, I think December 5th or so. We're only going to be there for a couple of days, and then we're flying right back. But I'm excited about that. I'm going to try to keep him in line. I got some videos to shoot out there, and
you're gonna you should invest in a taser.
I did. So
to keep him from doing something stupid.
Anybody, if anybody's watching and you have anything to do with sponsoring paintball guns, that's next on the list. I'm gonna get a paintball gun. I'm just gonna start lighting his ass up.
That's crazy that you say that.
Yeah,
because I was just talking about paintball guns.
Yeah,
and how I used to play or whatever.
Well, there's gonna be no playing. This is gonna be get a bag of paintballs, freeze them, and then I'm gonna shoot them with rocks, pretty much.
You get rubber ones.
Oh, they have those.
Yeah, get the rubber balls.
Oh, I don't know. That might be a little devastating.
Or just get those dang, or
like an airsoft gun.
Yeah, like the airsoft guns, like the electronic ones, dude. Those things sting so bad.
I saw one. It was a CO2 powered one. The only reason I didn't get it, but
yeah, the one time this kid pulled up. Whenever I worked at when I worked at a grocery store, like
you worked at a grocery store.
Yeah,
I did.
I was a bag boy.
Really?
In high school.
Man.
And
I worked at County Market. Shout out to County Market. They're sponsoring this podcast. What's up?
And I went outside to grab the carts to bring him back in, and this kid just pulls up. I knew him. He did a drive-by.
Shot you
with like a Uzi, dude. Just goes, "Hey, Cary." Like, I mean, the window was already like down a little bit. He's like, "Hey, Cary," and the window goes, and he's like, dude, just hitting me
in the face.
Yeah, without any eye protection or nothing, dude. It hurts so bad.
Rough in the streets, son. Yeah. Shit's real out here. Gang, bro. Dude, I remember one time. This was the funniest prank I've ever done, and it was on the fly. And I pull up. I saw a buddy of mine, and he's sitting in this car, and he's sitting at the railroad tracks waiting on this train.
Dude, Shannon just said Gobstopper Candy's working paintball guns.
Oh man.
FYI.
That'd be a rough deal. That's gonna hit your brain.
Sting.
Yeah, that's gonna hurt.
There's many layers to a Gobstopper.
Cary Miller, you're an idiot. But no, so I pull up to my buddy, he's sitting at the train tracks, and I pull up there, and I have like a thing of bottle rockets, a whole bunch of them. Like, I'm talking a stack like this big in my car for some reason, like a bomb of these things. And I was like, oh, I got a great idea. And I had a lighter in there. So I pull up to the train tracks, and he's sitting right there. And I go, hey, roll your window down, and pull up right next to him. We're sitting there shooting the shit, waiting on this train. And then all of a sudden I start fumbling around, and I pull out my lighter, and I'm trying to get this thing lit, but like incognito, so he doesn't see me light this bottle rocket. So I'm sitting right next to him, and right as the train finishes up, I get this bottle rocket lit. And I was like, hey, see ya. pow, and it blows up in his car. This bottle rocket does, and it scared him so bad.
Who was it?
This is a buddy of mine. You don't know him. This has been a long time ago. It's like back in high school. Dude, he pissed his pants. Actually pissed his pants. It scared him so bad. And I didn't realize how messy those are. There's gunpowder and like dust and smoke and shit everywhere in the car. I thought I was gonna burn his car down. I mean, it was like Cheech and Chong smoke rolling out, and I just boop, 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 I'm hammering out of there. Dude, so I can see you.
That's funny.
Yeah, that was a.
Firecrackers can be dangerous.
Yeah, no, don't let out bottle rockets in your friend's cars.
Don't try that at home, kids, unless you're of age.
Someone's gonna lose their fingers. I'm gonna get sued.
Don't do anything Brandon has done.
Ever.
I've heard some stories.
I've got so many, man.
It's probably a good thing that your dad worked for.
Dude, it was awful, man. It was the worst because the shit that people would get away with, I did.
Brandon!
Yeah, I wouldn't.
What are you doing?
Yeah,
I'm washing the bottom of them.
Yeah, like, dude, anybody that would get a warning, right? You would just write that off as I got an out of jail free card on this one. You get pulled over and you get a warning. Well, your parents aren't gonna know. Dude, my dad knew as soon as I was pulled over. It's a wrap, and he's pissed, and he's calling me, and you dumbass, like my dad's just pissed off. My dad's pissed off all the time. If you're watching this, my dad's pissed off right now.
You're embarrassed.
Dad, I'm sorry that we got into it a little bit on the weld job today, but you were pissing me off. You weren't listening to me, and I felt like I knew what I was talking about. Me and my
takes
dad,
brain pills, Sean.
Me and my dad, we're just so much alike, man. And I love working with my dad. It's one of my favorite things because even when we do get pissed off at one another, as soon as the job's done or whatever the snag is at the time, we're like right back to good. And me and my dad don't have very many downs now. There for a while was rocky, but we're pretty solid right now.
Dude, your dad's awesome.
Yeah, I love that, man. I really do. What about you and your dad?
My dad's awesome.
Yeah, how's your dad doing? I haven't talked to him in a while.
Well, he's fixing to go to New Orleans again.
Oh, he is.
Soon, yeah.
Yeah.
He's just living it up.
Man, I remember we blew a tire on the way back.
I mean, he's retired. Your dad's retired, but your dad.
Yeah, my dad just likes doing shit, I think. My dad can't sit still.
Well, my dad worked a little bit. I mean, after he retired, he did some pipeline security or whatever for that one out in South Dakota where they were like protesting and stuff.
Yeah.
So he did that for a while until, he just was like, I don't have to do this. So see ya. When somebody, your
dad was like the most hospitable guy in Nashville.
Dude, he's awesome.
It was, everything. He's just like, I got it. I'm good. I'm like, dude, no, you're like, I'll get it. Nah, I got it.
He's awesome.
Yeah.
For real. Sometimes, like,
me and Cary Miller in Nashville, we got a smoker, a two-bed smoker. I kept ashing all over his bed. I tried to set the fire alarm off in there. They had a.
I'm like, no, Brandon. There's probably like some sprinkler system in this
Cary Miller legit
this ghetto ass.
Cary got mad at me
hotel
because I was trying to set up the fire alarm.
Man, that place we stayed, man. I usually don't stay there when I go there.
Oh,
well, all that award stuff and like there's a few other things going on down there or whatever. It was like a busy Nashville weekend, and the hotel that I usually stay at runs about $65 to $72 a night or something like that. I'm like, Shannon went down beforehand, before everybody or whatever, and went to where I told him to go. And he's like, dude, they jacked the prices up. They're like $120 a night, $150 or whatever it was.
How long we were there? We were there for.
And I'm like, no way. I'm like, well, I'll just look on the internet real quick and find some places.
Yeah, that's no shit. So Cary tells me we get this 5-star place. It's got a pool.
Dude, it looks so nice.
And
like they took
the
one picture like when they first built the place, and they've never updated
so back
it.
in 1974 when this place was constructed, and it's top level of security with a nice fence around it and all the shit's gone, and this thing's a shithole. And we get there, and I was like, dude, this is not the place. No, I am not staying in Adderall Alley down here with all the crackheads. It's not happening. And that was
my dad says you'll let anyone talk on your show.
I love your dad, man.
Shannon said my dad's a hell of a roommate. He's a Tinder lover.
Dude, Cary Miller's the worst fucking roommate ever. You suck, dude. I would get so pissed. He would be on the phone. And it's like 3 o'clock in the morning, and we got to get up early. We had to be up early because we got this award show the next day, and Cary Miller's over there.
Oh man,
fucking around, drinking up a storm, and then he comes in, and I'm still asleep, and then he's on the phone. He's Brandon, psst, Brandon, hey, wake up! I want to show you something. Cary Miller's 4 a.m, dude. I got to be up in 2 hours. What do you want?
Just get up.
Just let me show you. Look at this bug, or like anything. Like look at this video on my friend. Like this can't wait, dog.
What up, Joby?
Man, I would get so mad at
What's
you.
up,
I wanted
Mike?
to punch you so many times.
Bobby sat off. Ask Cary if he needs a bodyguard. Nick Burris.
Yeah, Nick Burris is a good friend of mine. He lives right down the road, actually. Shut up, Nick Burris.
Nick probably wasn't on here when he heard the alleged story.
Yeah, Cary Miller's good. He's got flip-flops, and he's just all about allegedly kicking people in the chest and blowing them into this group of oh, that was the best part. So the girl comes over, right? So he kicks this guy, Cary Miller. For those of you just tuning in, we're down in Nashville. Cary's allegedly in Nashville at this time, and he's drunk. And I'm the only one. I'm the only sober one there, and I'm trying to talk this whole situation down. Cary loses his shit, and he's in flip-flops, and he looks like an idiot.
I didn't lose it. They were messing with Shannon. So
right.
Like,
okay.
Yeah. Like, there's no need to do that. Like,
okay. I will give you that. Cary doesn't lose his shit, but he escalates the situation a notch by kicking this young man in the chest. The guy goes flying into this group of people, and you probably shouldn't say this on air, but it just reminded me. It reminded me of Grand Theft Auto Vice City when you would go in with a grenade into that dance thing, and you would throw a grenade in there, and it'd blow everybody up, and you see everyone like just scatter. Well, it looked like that when Cary kicked this young man into this group of folks, and people look like bowling pins, dude. There was people just falling all over everything, everywhere, and I'm laughing at this point. Then
Brandon's probably trying to get it on film.
I was, and I was laughing. I had my camera. I was pulling my camera out of my pocket, and I'm laughing my ass off. And everyone else is dead serious. There's no laughter. Everyone's pissed, and Cary is pissed at this point. I'm just dying laughing. I'm having a good time, and the bouncers. It wasn't Cary's fault, even though he kicked this dude. The guy was acting like an asshole.
I was defending.
Yeah. Cary was in the right. Maybe
what's up, Sarah Beth Terry?
But so Cary kicks this dude. He goes flying.
Y'all go check out Sarah Beth Terry's music. She's awesome.
And so this girl comes back, and she is pissed. She is pissed off.
She's madder than a hornet in an old Coke can.
Dude, she was so mad. And she's got like this Long Island or some bullshit drink. And she comes up to Cary, and
probably $17.
Yeah, $17 drink. And it's got ice and shit in it, right? And she comes up to Cary and just, you asshole, and just going 100 miles an hour.
I tried to explain. I was like, ma'am, hold on, let me tell you.
Yeah, Cary's
explain this to you.
Cary's calmed down. Like he's talking about like that, and the girl sloshes the drink at him, ice cubes and all hit him, and it was the funniest thing I've ever seen. I'm thinking Cary's gonna lose his mind. I'm dying laughing. I'm rolling at this point. He is soaked head to toe. This looked to be I don't know what a mixed drink is, but maybe 8 ounces. No, this chick had a 44-ounce mixed drink in a small cup. Somehow she condensed it into this thing, but she's got a very little amount of liquid, but somehow managed to just soak him. And he's standing right there, and then now he's just quiet, and he's just looking at her, and I'm like,
well, I wasn't really looking at her because my eyes were closed because they were covered in alcohol.
And I'm thinking Cary is gonna either fly off the handle, or he's just gonna sit here. And I'm laughing. I'm hysterical at this point. I'm dying laughing. I mean, I'm doubled over. I'm damn near on the ground laughing. And I just look at Cary and go, well, you'll have that.
And I went like this. This is all I did. I was like,
he wipes his eyes so that you're listening.
All right then. I was like, she doesn't understand what just happened. All she seen was this dude.
Yeah.
Get smoked.
Yeah, get kicked in the chest and goes flying into a group. It's the funniest shit I've ever seen.
And I was the guy who did it.
Yeah.
So she just immediately assumed that I was trying to start something, which wasn't the case at all.
I was like, we're going to go to jail. I'm not going to make the award show. He's definitely not going. And You know,
Joby says I would have went to jail. I think probably what happened is the bouncers probably
they've probably seen it.
the
Had
whole
to
thing.
have.
They had to.
Yeah, had to have, because those dudes were cool. And I talked to them after the fact, and the dudes were cool with us. And,
Dad.
And what? What did he say?
My dad said it was a good thing it was him because I would have punched that bitch in the face.
Yeah, Cary's dad's hilarious, man. And you know what? It's so funny because as we're going out, you know, I mean, we were out until 3, 4 in the morning every night, and like your dad was just hanging in there, man. Really was. He'd look over at me, hey man, you want another Red Bull? I'm gonna grab another beer. I'm like, yeah, dog, grab me one. And so I'm hopped up on Red Bulls all night. Your dad must have.
Yeah, I was actually scared a little bit for Brandon.
My heart.
Yeah, because he was drinking so many damn Red Bulls.
Well, see, the problem was that as I'm in Nashville, surprisingly, I found a bunch of people that knew who I was in Nashville, which I'm not a big deal. I don't mean it to sound that way, but they just knew me. Like, they knew Brandon Briles, and
he's a big deal.
I'm not a big deal. I'm not shit. But I get down to Nashville, and now there's this group of people that are coming up to me, and they're like, dude, let me buy you a drink. Let me buy you a drink. And I don't drink anymore. And so I didn't want to be an asshole, and I was giving a bunch of drinks away. But I would do it like when they would turn around. Like, I would just say,
they would bring you a drink?
Yeah. And
then you would just give it to somebody else?
Yeah. And like you can't pawn off a drink in Nashville, especially a mixed drink or something like that, because no one's going to drink it. Right. You can't do that.
I wouldn't take a drink from anybody anyway.
Yeah. And so and I was leaving them on the bar and that kind of thing. So that was why I ended up switching to Red Bull, because it looked like a mixed drink. So someone would be like, hey, let me get you a drink. Nah, dog, I'm good. I got this mixed drink, you know. And then you could say that instead. And that was my go-to. So I had to drink Red Bulls all night. And I remember I would get in bed at night, and we'd lay down in the hotel. And I remember I'd close my eyes and I'd see those little yellow spots, like when you look at the sun. My body was about to shut down, dude. It was not good. It's not healthy. And like, I wasn't eating very well because we ate nothing but shit food, like eating Denny's, Waffle House, and all these places. You know, I wasn't eating much meat or anything.
Waffle House is the shit, though.
That one place was good, and that nice lady, she was.
I forgot what her name was.
Oh,
it was something you kept saying it.
Tatiana. Break it down, Tatiana. Yeah. Shout out to you, Tatiana, if you're watching from Nashville. I like to do a shout out to Brandon's mic for hiding his face. Thank God, man. I'm tired of looking at this camera anyways.
I kind of moved mine over. The
yeah.
diaphragm, it should still be picking it up pretty good. These are decent mics.
Man, I'm really happy with the whole setup, honestly. When I first got into this, like, I like to think that I'm pretty tech savvy, but this was honestly way above my head. I didn't realize how much
audio.
Yeah, man. It's not like this has nothing to do with computers or computing or anything like that.
Try setting up a whole PA system when
there's no way.
Play music.
There's no way I couldn't do it.
And getting levels and everything.
Yeah, there's just no way that I could do it. And like everyone, I understand why people think that it's simple. Like, okay, well, you got a couple mics, man. Just plug this shit in.
Yeah, just plug them in.
Plug it in. You got a camera. Big deal. Plug this shit in. Okay. Well, then what do you do when like one mic cuts in and out? Well, now what? Like, now the mic isn't bad. You just bought it. It's brand new. And so trying to figure all that stuff out, man, has been a real headache. And I really hope.
Hang on, I'm going to readjust this. I hope it doesn't.
Oh, yeah, you're good.
Make any crazy noises and stuff for your.
Yeah, no, you should be good. But so it was like, man, it was just such a
iTunes
and on top of that, when you're live like this, there's no way to test it. Like, there's just no way. And so it becomes a huge headache.
Is this just going in?
Yeah, just push it in. What are you doing? You out? You out?
No. I'm just gonna sit up.
Oh, you're good. I'm just giving you a hard time. Sound is good. Levi, thank you, dude. That's really good to hear. Because man, I get worried about that. There's no way to test right now. You just hope once you start it that it's good, and then you don't know until the end once you download the video if it was actually good or not. So you're like, I hope it sounds all right, whatever.
And you don't have any like audio editing software anyways, like recording studio, so you couldn't edit out this.
Right. There's nothing. Yeah. The only thing, now this is, and I'm not a professional by any means, but the way that I understand it is with these particular mics, they will condense the sound a little bit. So like your peaks and valleys, it will try to even them out. So like if you have the gain turned up too high. So for those of you that don't understand what that means, is when you talk, if you look at the sound, right? And I know that sounds a little weird, but when you look at it as it's being analyzed through software,
I can hear my hair growing.
Yeah.
When you look at the sound, man.
But as the sound is recorded, you can see it, right? On a, like, basically as it gets louder, it's going to go higher, and as it gets in different frequencies, you know, it'll be a little bit lower. Well, it'll take those and it tries to make them into a pretty straight line. And so if you have the gain turned up, which is the amount of sound that the microphone takes in, if you have it turned up too high, you would think it would be too loud. Well, what I had to learn the hard way was that is not entirely true, because as the sound comes through and it's too much, the mic will actually condense that sound down.
We'll
and
see,
then,
Shannon.
And
we'll
then
see.
you're fighting this whole thing, this losing battle of like trying to figure out, okay, well, is the gain too high and it's picking up too much sound and that's why it's far away sounding? Or is it something else? Man, it's just been a headache, but I'm glad to learn.
Shannon says, raise the window blind up. I'm standing outside. I said,
dude, I would laugh so
we'll
hard.
see.
How far away is Shannon?
We'll
Shannon's
see.
like a couple hours.
Yeah, he's
hours.
not that far.
Yeah,
you should
hours.
bring him in here.
I would bring you on, Shannon. Yeah, dude, if you ever want to talk.
He's not that far. He's oh my gosh. What's that town? Right outside.
I don't know. I don't know where he lives.
Dang it.
Yeah. But Shannon, I would have you on, Shannon. If you're ever in town, man, let me know. We had a fallout today, actually. So I was gonna have a friend of mine. I try to dance pretty careful on this line, but I had a friend of mine that was gonna come on, and he was with the police department, and I don't ever want to do anything to like get people in trouble or anything like that. So I'll just leave it at that. But
Brandon's had his fair share of
yeah,
police in trouble.
yeah, asshole. But and so
Paris, that's where it is.
Oh, okay, I know where that
That's
is.
just like right over the line.
Yeah. But so I wanted to have him come on and talk about, like, you know, people, just common shit, you know, with the police and that kind of thing. But he couldn't make it today, and it worked out really well because Cary lives hours away, and then it just so happened that he was going to be in town. He was coming to see me today, and I didn't know it. A little surprise, and I was like, "Hell yeah, dude, this will be perfect," because I've been wanting to have you on the. Hell yeah, bro.
Banana bread, bro.
Hell yeah. But I've been wanting to, like, you were one of my first people on the list. So I was like, all right, you know, I'll have him down with the podcast because, like, we used to go live all the time together.
Oh, I knew it was inevitable.
Yeah, yeah. So I was like, man, this will work out really
inevitable.
well. So everything really fit together today, and I was very happy with that.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So, I mean, basically, I know you asked me earlier, whatever, about the music and stuff or whatever, but basically it's just like trying to find gigs and stuff. So, you know,
I'll tell you what, man.
I'll do acoustic stuff.
I love listening to you play, and like, I'm not kissing your ass because you're my friend.
Full band, you know, it's just a matter of, you know, word of mouth or people who, you know, have heard me before, and finding venues to do that in. So if anybody knows of any, you know,
where are you gonna be?
Whatever.
Where?
I don't have anything lined out.
Nothing right now. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As of right now, I'm just kind of winging it, trying to get a few things situated, like I said.
Yeah, yeah.
In my personal endeavors.
Microphone condenser can always help with noises and other problems around and other ground loops. Well, that right there, I can already tell you somebody that knows much more about this shit than I do. I actually, Travis, I think I may have it figured out. I'm not 100% sure on it, but as of right now, I think I have the audio stuff lined out. Another big issue too is like transmitting the data, because right now I'm at like about a gig. About a gig a minute or so. So if we get to talking and it's like an hour-long podcast like this, then it's 60 gigs of data that you're essentially transmitting over the internet. And so that's been kind of a headache because you're condensing stuff down, you know, to meet guidelines. And then I usually rip the audio from that to upload to the podcast hosts. And as of right now, I think I have everything lined out, and I think it's going to work just fine. But I don't know. I'm always open to new suggestions.
I mean, audio is really, it's not an easy thing to.
Man, it's tough if you're looking for professional
clean
sound
up and stuff like that, because once you take it and put it somewhere and then you try to like send it somewhere else, you'll get
it gets noisy. Yeah,
it gets noisy.
Yeah, and even trying to do this with like a
Joey.
What did he say?
That was a joke.
I didn't.
He said I record my albums on an iPhone mic.
Yeah, dog.
I mean, sometimes you have,
dude, that's the crazy thing.
External mics, you know, that you can even plug into iPhones and stuff that actually do fairly decent, but
Yep.
I mean, not really recommended.
The crazy thing, so depending on what you have, like as far as equipment, like my Mac has what I would call a fairly good mic, relatively speaking.
Apple was made for music.
Well, that Mac, man,
for real.
I mean, like it's the mic on that is better than my phone. It's better than anything really that I've ever used other than an actual studio microphone. And so going live on that's cool because I feel like people can hear what you're saying. And I considered going that route for this. And then once I actually looked into it and I was like, all right, well, people are going to be listening to this. And so I wanted it to be legit. And I was like, man, I'm just going to get the blue mic. And even that's, I mean, don't get me wrong. They're really, for me, in my opinion, I think they're really good mics. I think the sound quality is really good. But even that.
Shure's are really good.
Yeah.
This one's for Matt. He's watching. That probably picked that up.
Oh, I guarantee
Greasing the chain.
Yeah, man, sick. Sounds good, man. That's awesome. That's seriously the best thing that somebody could tell me right now. Is like, hey, man, your audio sounds really good. Because I just fought it for so long, back and forth and trying to get the shit dialed in.
I mean, it sounded good when you had your dad on here.
Yeah, I ran into issues with my mic.
Like it almost seemed like your dad was a little bit too.
A little much.
He didn't want to be like
up
close to the mic.
Yeah.
And he kind of sat back
or
whatever, but you could still hear him clear as day.
Yeah, I had some people ask me. They went like two ways. So a lot of people said they mentioned my microphone, and my mic was tuned down a little bit, and so it made my dad's part sound. Because then you'd have to turn the music or turn the.
I mean, there's definitely better mics than this. I can promise you that. But
oh yeah, no, I know that. But no, I'm not talking about that. I'm saying that when my dad was here, like his mic was dialed in about perfect, and mine was actually a little overcompensated, and so his sounded a lot better, and mine sounded kind of far away. But I think I have that dialed in. So it's been such a fight, but I really think as long as this one turns out good, I got the settings set, and I'll glue those damn knobs down. They're
never glue them so nobody can bump them.
Yeah, they're never moving. I'll put black tape over them.
Just pull the knob off because obviously there's a little metal.
Oh yeah,
and then super glue the inside. And stick it on there.
Just problem solved. Yeah, but man, so this has been a real treat, honestly, and I don't mean to sound stupid.
Oh boy,
yeah, but
a real treat.
It's been great, man. I've just been so damn happy. I've had so many people ask me, like, like, what are you doing, with life in general and shit, and it has been the greatest. Trust me, the greatest thing ever. I'm in such a good spot right now, and I'm so happy. I haven't been this happy in a long time, and this podcast was part of it.
Well, I mean. You told me, you're like, dude, I'm going to quit my job.
Yeah.
And I was like.
That's been almost a year.
I was like, Brandon. Like.
You sure?
It sounds good. But are you ready?
Yeah. And dude, it has been not even that.
It is, it's.
Sure, it's tough.
Not,
it's tough. Yeah. It's a lot of stress.
Really tough.
It is. For those of you that are watching, or listening,
if you got a dream or something like that,
you got to do it, man. You got to do it because there's no better time than now. And
if you have nothing holding you down, like Brandon does, he's not married.
No.
Neither am I.
Yeah. Oh, I wasn't gonna go there.
But he's not married. He doesn't have any kids.
Yeah. There's look. let me just put this out there. If you have a dream and it's something that you're thinking about doing and you don't have any real things holding you back. And now a real thing to me doesn't include a job. It doesn't include a mortgage. It doesn't include anything like that. If you don't have somebody that's on their deathbed, that you don't have kids, and you don't have a significant other that's saying absolutely not. Those are about the only things I think. If you have a real dream and something that you want to do, there's no better time than now because you're always going to question it. You're always going to go back to it. You're always going to be fighting with yourself on it. Did I make the right decision? Did I make the call? Yeah, every time. And the people that don't do that shit, it drives me nuts. It just drives me crazy because they just don't have it in them to pull the trigger on it.
The only scary thing about it, really honestly, the only scary thing about it is are you going to keep steady?
But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you can't.
No,
keep
I mean
steady.
like steady work. You
Sure,
know what I mean?
it doesn't
That's
matter.
the only thing that's really scary though. But that doesn't matter.
It doesn't
Like,
matter. You can always go back to a bullshit job.
I
You were
know.
looking for a job, unless
But
you have
that's
like
the
a
only
super
thing.
career.
If you're worried, like, oh man,
Yeah,
like,
yeah, you know, you live it. You know,
like when I play,
right? That's the job.
I can make more money than what I made.
Yeah, that's the job
at my state job.
That's the shit that drives me nuts. So when you have people though,
steady.
yeah,
You know
but you
I
get
mean?
people that like rationalize it to
yeah,
themselves
they
and talk
overthink
themselves
it.
out of it.
But if it doesn't work, like, you know,
yeah, go back.
You can always go back to that job.
Yeah,
It's
and the
not
problem is with the other way of thinking. The problem is thinking it's going to wear off. It's a fad. It's, you know, just some shit that's rolling around in your head. It's not. It's not fad if it's your dream. If it really is your dream, and if it's something that you really want to live out, it's never going to go away. You're always going to ask yourself, and if you don't chase it now, you're going to chase it later.
And if you have to quit for a little bit or whatever,
it's part of it.
And get
it's part
a
of
job
it.
So you can have a little steady income.
It's
so
not
then
an
you can
out.
Get back.
Yeah, you didn't lose
that dream. You didn't lose anything.
Yeah, you didn't lose. It's a speed bump in the way.
Break.
Yeah, it's not a big deal. And I think that people are so afraid of change. I think that's the problem. I think that's the problem with most people is that I think the real root of problems with people being comfortable is complacency. When people I know this is a cliche term, but when people say, you know, oh, all pressure creates diamonds or whatever. Well, yeah, I think that is a little lame to say, but there's so much truth behind it because people get scared or they get complacent or they're just afraid of the change. And let me tell you something, whenever a push comes to shove, and if you can move and do the shit that you want to do, it's going to far surpass any happiness you'll pull anywhere else. I guarantee it. Money, all the shit, all the fear and everything aside, once you make it on your own and you start paying your shit and doing whatever it is you want to do, in my opinion, and take it from somebody who's living through it right now, I've never been happier.
Dude.
Never.
You can make all the money you want in this world.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
No. And
money can buy happiness, but only temporarily.
It is, dude. It is so
because
that,
once you have
the shit you want, then what?
Yeah,
I know.
And then you go back to what?
Yeah, right. And like for me, like I need
happiness
projects, man. I need projects, and that's part of the reason this podcast was so important to me is because it was kind of next on my project list, and so I really want, you know, like I felt like I really swung for the fence.
But sometimes happiness is like, you know, if somebody aspires to be, you know, to have that regular 9 to 5 or 3 to 11, if that's their dream, that's
absolutely
their dream.
I'm not saying quit your job.
Yeah,
I'm not saying that. I'm saying that that's what works for me, and then that is what is my dream. Now, look,
like if you want to be a cook,
be it, and be the best damn one you can be.
If you want to be a bartender, be a bartender. If you want to raise chickens,
then raise
chickens.
Yeah, I don't care if you want to sit back and sell pencils every day. Like if that's what you want to do, then do that. But this bullshit, like this bullshit idea that people put out there of like you have to have a steady job and you have to have shit figured out by the time you're like 30, right?
Yeah, because you got to buy a house.
Yeah, and they put like this arbitrage
of the dumbest
numbers
thing you can do. Buying a house, honestly.
Well,
you're stuck, Brandon.
I think it's relative. I think it's relative to the situation.
You can't just leave.
You can. You absolutely can.
Well, you can, but is it good?
It depends.
Yeah.
It depends. I think that it depends on the situation. But what I do believe in is that
your face makes me happy, Cary.
But Jeff. what I believe though, honestly, is
Thanks,
that like your happiness, right, is
that old Marcus
is directly impacted on, you know, like what your goals are. And so if you have these goals and you're just too scared to chase them, you're not going to get anywhere with them. It's not going to happen. So you have to pull the trigger at some point. And
that's
so
like
many
me,
people,
dude.
So many people are scared of it. And
like I worked at state prison.
Yeah, you know how it is.
Starting off, you know, you make pretty decent money.
Sure.
And everybody thinks, you know, like my whole like thing and process of thinking was like, oh yeah, I made it to the prison and now my life, like I made it in life.
Yeah.
And
just because of the money, right? Is that what you said? Okay. Yeah.
And then I get there and it's like, dude, I have to sit here for 35 years of my life
Mm.
and wonder, what if I don't chase this?
That's the problem for
What
me.
if I don't go try it?
That's the
I'll
problem.
never know.
Right.
And then I just wasted all that time.
All that time, man.
All that
And
time.
I don't know.
And it's not easy. It's never easy. It's never easy. But if you want it, you go get it.
You got it, man. And I think a lot of people
Matt agrees it.
I think a lot of people are so complacent. Dude, I'm gonna punch you in the mouth.
I know. That's gonna be all over on iTunes. People are gonna be like, what is that saying?
Yeah. But dude, I don't know,
Like
man.
an
I
audio
think so.
glitch.
I think I'm gonna kill you, Cary. I just think people are complacent.
People get familiar.
They do. They get familiar, but I mean, a lot of it comes down to work ethic. You know, when push comes to shove, are you going to do what you need to do? Are you going to get this shit done or not get it done?
They get comfy.
They do, and it's the worst, man. Like, you got to go do shit you don't like, and you got to go do shit you don't want to do.
That's what I was telling my brother. You know, he wants to open up a shop, and I'm like, dude,
Just
do it.
Yeah.
I was like, what are you scared of?
What's the hold up? Yeah.
I was like, turn into taxes.
Yeah.
Do everything that you're supposed to do or whatever. I'm like, this is stuff they don't teach.
Right.
Like in high school, they don't teach like, you gonna get water? Yeah. They don't teach kids like, hey, start a business, you know?
They don't, man. And it's a real shame.
You can make money off of your own business even if you're not making a lot of money, because obviously you're spending money to make money. So there you go. Write it off. It's a tax write-off. You're going to make some of that money back. You know what I'm saying? Paul May, keep your tongue in your mouth, Mr. Miller.
He's a moron. He really is.
I'm gonna urinate real quick.
You're definitely gonna hear that.
You're definitely gonna hear.
You're gonna hear that
for everybody on iTunes and wherever you're.
Yeah,
listening
your best bet is to.
I'm gonna go outside.
Yeah, yeah. Do it like
in the bushes.
Yeah, go out that door.
This front one.
Yeah, go out over there and then.
Because I drank a lot of this water and I had a Mountain Dew Code Red. 44.
Yeah, go out that door.
I'll be right back.
Yeah, you're good. But man, I don't know. So
this one.
Yeah. When it comes to people, this is obviously something I'm really passionate about, but when it comes to people not chasing their dreams because they're afraid of essentially the security they have right now, I think that's a real weakness. And I only believe that if they're really not doing their dream, right? If they're not living it right now, I mean, I don't know. I get so frustrated because so many people want to do something, but they just don't want to. They don't want to make the move. They don't want to do the hard things. They don't want to really do it. They just want to talk about doing it. And it's so frustrating because if you really want something, then go figure out a way to make it, right? If you want to sell pencils, then go figure out a way, go find somebody that's going to manufacture these pencils and make the best damn pencils you need. And then figure out someone that's going to buy the pencils. I mean, it's not rocket science and it's not hard. It just takes a little bit of knowledge and a little bit of drive, I think. But man, it's just, I don't know. I get frustrated with that. But to keep it on a more positive note, I mean, for me right now in life, I'm far happier than I've ever been, I would say, in my entire life. I just, I'm really doing what I want to do, and I'm finally at the point now to where I'm comfortable, and that's the best feeling, is once you do what you want and you kind of get to the point in which you're headed, and then you get comfortable there. Obviously you never want to stay comfortable. It's just my opinion. But once you get to the point to where you can kind of chill and relax and you don't have to do as much, it's always a good feeling. And it's something that, that I really like.
You got a visitor.
I know. He said he was here. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But sorry, folks. I had to.
It takes a lot of self-motivation to be self-employed. It absolutely does.
Just
because the problem is with that, I think, especially working from home, is that's by far the hardest, is to stay motivated, right? So like when you have shit that you need to do, but maybe you're just not feeling it that day or whatever, it's super easy to take a chill day and just, I'll get it tomorrow. And maybe whatever it is you're doing isn't that important. So even if it does wait until tomorrow, it's not the end of the world. Like, that's okay. Well, the problem that for me that leads to is it's not okay, because within like the last couple months I've been working on, for me personally, is like actually staying disciplined. It's been the most difficult thing I've probably ever done in my life, is to practice how to be disciplined. And it's a struggle every day, and obviously the level of discipline depends on the day and the task at hand, but
let's have your dad come over here and discipline you.
Shit, man. He knows how it is, dude. He deals with the same shit. When you don't want to do it, you don't want to do it.
Oh, dang, I hit that.
What?
That's definitely picking that up.
Oh, it's all right. Unless you hit the mic boom, it'll be all right.
That's what I hit. My fingernail tapped it.
A little tappy tappy. What else, man? What do you think? You got anything?
I don't know. I missed it a little bit of what you were saying.
I was just talking about, like, just people, not being driven is a tough thing, and people being scared.
I mean, and everything is different though. Some stuff's easier than others.
Sure, absolutely.
Like, obviously, music and Snapchat are not the same.
No, yeah, and yeah, by no means is any of this shit directed towards you or anybody in particular.
But I'm just saying, it's like, it's different. Like, I have to physically go to places to be able to play and do that stuff. And you can do it anywhere. Literally anywhere.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I guess
it's a real advantage.
I could too, like, via Facebook Live and everywhere else, all
it might not be as efficient. It might not be the way.
Yeah.
I get
all the social media and stuff, but I mean, it's not the same. You know what I mean? Or like, you sell t-shirts, you don't have to have your t-shirts on hand, because it's not like you're a stand-up comedian and going out and doing that or whatever.
Yeah.
You have all that available online and stuff. Whereas I have to have physical t-shirts, physical copies of CDs and things of that nature.
Yeah.
To take with me.
Right, and you're 100% right, but the difference in that is that you've already made the commitment, right? You've already made the jump. It's like the people that I'm talking to are the ones that just want to do it, right? And whatever it is. So if they want to be, I mean, a salesman, but they're working some bullshit factory job, well, quit the factory bullshit and then go find a sales position that will at least get you in the door. So many people are just scared of, I've been working this factory job for 10 years. That's all I know. Well, are you happy? Well, not really.
No, but it pays the bills.
But it pays the bills. And I get so tired of hearing that shit. I don't want to hear that shit.
You're not happy.
Yeah, it's just a waste, man, because I
the coolest
I see it
thing,
all the time.
One of the coolest things is like, my dad, he retired from the state prison as a major.
Yeah.
And one of the coolest things that I ever heard from him about me doing this or whatever was, everybody's different. You got to do what makes you happy. That working that job
that you hate.
I mean, my dad, maybe that made my dad happy. I don't know.
Right.
I've never asked him. Maybe that's what he wanted to do. Maybe that was his thing, or he had other
I'll tell you
motives
what,
or whatever. You know what I mean?
To some folks, it doesn't matter, right? Some people, they're good with it. Like, they'll work whatever job and they do it. And typically the folks that are like that they're like extremely hard workers, well-motivated, fucking kick-ass people. And part of me envies that, like, because I can't sit still long enough most of the time through most things to be happy. I can't work a job that I'm not passionate about and then not sit on the back burner of my mind thinking, well, does this shit really make me happy?
What's crazy is that like, okay, so like musicians or whatever, like, I honestly feel like if you're a true and real musician, like, you'll never quit. It's just who you are. It is in you. It's implanted. Yeah, you might take a break here and there
Right.
from it, but you'll never give it up, and there's nothing else that you want to do. There's ever.
Yeah.
No other job in this life is ever going to satisfy that longing or yearning for like going out and playing
Is it
music.
what part? Is it like the creation, like creating the music, or all of it?
Everything.
Yeah.
For me, it's songwriting and performing and just getting to go travel and do things, that people see on Facebook. They're like, "Oh my gosh, did you see? Oh my gosh, he's there.
Right.
Oh my gosh, did you see he's there?" Like, you just get to do that, and people are like, "Oh man, I wish I could do that." And it's like, you can.
Yeah, you can.
You
can. I don't know, man. It's nuts though. It's so cool. And
what's up, Anna Banana?
I feel like too for me, this probably I would say last 2 years, dude, I have changed. I would say my outlook on just about everything. And I really do, man. I used to be really like money motivated, right? And like everything had to make money for it to make sense. And now, and maybe it's just getting older, or maybe, I don't know, but I really do look at like the deeper ideological views of like, is this what I want to do? And if no, then do I need this, right? So if you're broke, do you need to have a job at a bullshit job if you're broke and you can't afford anything else and you don't have any other options? Well, yeah, you need to, but can you get maybe a little more financially stable to where maybe you can push out and go and chase a dream, set goals? Nothing's going to happen overnight, and I wouldn't expect that from anybody. But it's just, this last couple of years has been a real learning experience, and a real, like, I've grown so much, and I just changed, man. I changed so much. And like, looking back at it now, I just wish that, I could have learned these things farther back. And I really just want to help push other people to do more, just like you've done with me. And I feel like I've also given, where I can.
We're
give
always
back
bouncing
to you.
ideas and stuff.
Always.
Like, hey, dude, what do you think of this? I'm like, oh, you could do this, or you could do that.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like and the circle of people that you carry around you is a huge impact. At least it is for me. I wouldn't say that I've ever been surrounded by losers, but
you're a loser, Brandon.
Rough crowd. But I know people that surround themselves with losers, and I know people that are really talented, in particular musicians, that are super talented and could do a lot and are really good. But the problem that they have is they hang around fucking idiots, and that's the problem. And then they sink down into this slope of like nothing's going right, and then they have their friends that are like, oh well, maybe one day, and then they listen to them, and then it becomes this self-imploding problem, and they just never get to the next level.
You become John Smith that never left his small town,
that almost made it.
Station.
That almost made it, and it's such a sad thing to see, because so much of it really directly relates to the company you keep.
Sorry, John Smith, if you work at a gas station.
Oh yeah, some guys like
and never left.
Yeah, man. It's just, it really is like, you got to have good people around you. You have to have a good support system, and you have to be, you can't just be so blind to blatant facts. Like, you have to be real about it, I think, and you have to, you can't just do reckless shit.
I mean, honestly, I really, we're talking about like being stable and stuff like that or whatever, and jobs and whatnot, but I hate money. I hate it, but it's like, you have to have it to be able to function.
Yeah.
And that just, it blows my mind. Somewhere along the lines, we got it twisted.
Yeah,
we should still like trade rabbit furs.
You think? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Dude, I would trade you what I'd trade? I'd trade you a coon hat for a CD. Like, would
That's
you do?
What's up?
Yeah, where are you gonna get that plastic from, bitch? You got that plastic printer, or you you can 3D print them? I'll 3D print you CDs.
And your dad could use them for fire starters.
Buying skids at a time, brother.
Kyle, Kyle Crownover, what's up, man?
I don't have any of these cool notifications on my phone. I quit.
I hope you're safe out there, bud. I really do. I hope you're safe. Kyle's a cool dude that I met
Holla Kyle.
at a concert.
Yeah.
And yeah, he's a really cool dude. Super awesome. We kind of clicked, like me and you,
Yeah.
or whatever. It's a cool dude.
That's awesome, man. Those are the best kinds of interactions, I think. All right, man. We've been going on this. How long do you want to go? I don't want to hold you up. We've been at it for a little over an hour, hour and a half or
We're
so.
at 3:19.
Yep. I mean, I'm good to keep going. I just
We
don't
can
want to
keep
hold you up.
going.
Yeah, good. Because I like this shit. I could talk to you all day.
But yeah, so I mean, it's different demographics, really,
Mhm.
and your locations and stuff too. Like Brandon kind of talked to me a little bit about maybe getting out of here,
Mhm.
but doesn't know. You know,
Get
he
out.
doesn't know. Nothing's for sure, and he needs to be able to broaden. He needs to be able to broaden his
It just,
Verizon
you know,
with his field of work. Like he's doing, promo videos for,
well, it just,
Attica, and
it just depends.
eventually, until they move in more
I think that,
businesses, I mean, eventually you're going to run out.
yeah.
And your services are needed.
Well, but it's not necessarily that, right? So
Well, I know.
the thing that scares the shit out of me, if you want to talk about like personal fears, is the fear of being complacent, and I like directly correlate that back to being weak, and it's a super huge pet peeve of mine. I can't stand when people are weak or weak-minded, I guess maybe I should say. And I never want that to be me. I don't want to be too afraid to make the move that needs to be made. So if it's better for me, geologically speaking, if it's better for me to move, I want to be strong enough to do it. And I want to know within me, like, all right, this one needs to be done, and damn it, it's time to do it. And I just don't ever want to fear that. But it's such a fine line, because you don't want to be reckless, right? You don't want to just willy-nilly just change and go do shit just because you think at that time that maybe that's the move. I feel like everything's got to be somewhat calculated, but just be real about it. You gonna do the shit or not?
Pretty much.
Mhm.
I mean, I was really thinking about it. I mean, this all amounts to making a decision,
Yeah.
which leads to another decision.
Yeah. It's so crazy. I mean, if you think about it, like if one decision, if you could pick back in your life and like find an inflection point of like, where was that one decision that like really changed the course of my path? And it starts off as such, if you think of it like an angle, it's such a small angle in the very beginning, but as time progresses, the angle gets to be huge, and all of a sudden your life's completely different.
Yeah,
It's the path that I fell into,
it's crazy.
Yeah, if I would have never, like, everyone kind of knows my story, I feel like, but I get asked it a lot, and so maybe not, but like it all stems back to the yacht party, like with Adam.
Yeah, I know.
And it's so crazy. Like I can physically look at my phone and I can go back and I can look at, like, this is where I was. Like, this is it. This was the time that my life had changed for the course of then to, however long that was now, probably 4 or 5 years ago, and to get me to where I'm at now. And it's just so insane to me to think about it. It's nuts that you can really trace it back like that. And what seemed to be such a small decision then changed ultimately. I mean, it changed the course of the path of my life, and it changed my life. I don't know. I don't know if you have anything like that or not, but it's just, it's crazy. So when I tell people,
I mean, I knew I wanted to like perform and stuff when I was like
young,
before I was 15.
really?
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Because that's when I got my first guitar when I was 15.
man,
And I was singing before that, or whatever. And I just thought it was so cool to watch people play guitar.
yeah.
I'm like, man, I have to learn how to do that.
Hmm.
And it was a decision to get a skateboard or a guitar. And I had a skateboard already. So I was like,
guitar it up.
guitar it is.
Yeah.
And then, like,
Take over. I'll be right back.
most people, I mean, I'm going to say diagnosed with ADHD, which is, It's just if you've ever been around me, it's just me. But to stay focused and learning how to play guitar.
We're back. We ran into some issues here, but
I was talking about as a kid being diagnosed with ADHD or whatever, and not being able to focus or stick with anything.
Oh yeah.
And I got my guitar and I stuck with it because I knew before I even had a guitar, like, this is what I wanted to do. I dreamed it, I seen it, I'm going to get it. Like, I just thought it was so cool.
Yeah. Did you always plan it out though? Do you think, like, to be like a career?
I didn't really start focusing on it until about,
like, did you know? I guess is what I should
4 or 5 years ago, like really focusing on it.
Of it, like, being like, all right,
Like,
this is legit. This is me.
This is what I'm going to do for the rest of my life.
Right.
So, because it was at that moment I was like, dude, I'm just sitting here working.
Oh yeah.
And it wasn't working for me. So I was like, I have to try it. I got to go try it. If it don't work, I can always go back.
Yeah, that's kind of what.
And like the whole Nashville thing, like, I don't know if they heard this on the other one before or whatever, but like those people were watching for an entire year
with Nashville.
Yeah.
Right.
Like little secret agents working behind the curtains. I had no clue until I got a message. So if you get off the bus and you give up, there could have been somebody fixing to email you, call you. They'll get a hold of you.
Right.
You know what I mean? They're going to get a hold of you. They'll figure out how to.
Right.
And but if you get off that bus, then you just screwed yourself. So don't give up. Just keep going.
Yeah, the man, and I know what it's like too to be like right there of like, is this shit worth doing? Like, am I really doing the right thing? And it always seems like right in the midst of all that self-doubt that you have is that for me it seems like is always when like the next big thing happens, and I'm like,
yeah, I know.
Okay, like, all right, that's what I needed. That's all I needed to keep going. I'm good. And then just keep trucking, keep working.
And I've learned that just because something didn't work out, that's not the end of it. That's just a learning experience. It's not like the end of the road. You just hit it from a different angle.
Yeah. And I think it's a naive way to think that the first time you go to do something, it's just going to work. People tell me all the time, I'm going to start a YouTube channel. Okay.
It takes a minute.
Then what?
You think all the people that are famous, YouTubers, that it just happened? I mean, some people do go viral.
Some do, yeah.
But I think it takes like 500 million views now for it to be a viral video, not a million.
Yeah, it's insane. So the amount of people that you have to impact is insane. But then on top of that, it's just that it appears to me that when people make up their mind on, doing something like that, it's like they think it's just going to happen on their time, and now that they're ready, it's going to happen. And it's absolutely not the case, like 99.999% of the time. And so you have to be real with yourself on what are you going to do when this doesn't work? Because that's most likely the case. It's more than likely that whatever dream you're chasing, at first, it's not going to work, or you didn't do something right, and now you have to change your plan of attack. So you got to ask yourself, are you able to handle that, or are you going to crumble and then have to go back? Or is it just not going to be feasible and you're going to have to go back? I don't think going back necessarily, I don't think a step back is a bad thing, unless it's just because you're uncomfortable or too scared to move forward. Then I don't think it's a real reason. But I think a lot of times people just like, okay, well, now I'm a musician, or whatever. And like, okay, well, how's that working out for you? Well, I'm not selling anything. Or like, or I haven't played any shows. Or, okay, what have you done? Well, I can cover some songs, or whatever. And then it's like, okay, well, what are you gonna do when this doesn't work out? Are you gonna quit or are you gonna keep trying? Because that ain't gonna work. Like that's not gonna last you forever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I don't know.
And there's different ways too to go about it. Like, I don't have to be Mr. Frontman
right
in the limelight or any of that. Like, I don't care about any of that as long as it has something to do with music, whether that's writing songs for people or
do you like doing that?
anything. I've never wrote a song for anybody,
Just you?
just myself.
Right.
But dude, I love writing songs. I think it's crazy sometimes, like some of the stuff that comes out and you're like, wow, this whole story makes sense and has a melody.
Yeah.
And it all ties together, and I don't know, it's crazy because a lot of these people believe that some of these performers are writing songs.
Holla performers, we know you.
Performers.
We see you out there.
See, there's performers.
Performing. You ain't no musician.
They perform the song that was already wrote. They didn't have to do
the hard part.
Yeah, the footwork.
Yeah.
They just walk into a studio and they're like, hey, pick out of this catalog
yeah,
many a songs
yeah,
that you would like to do, or which ones are going to be the most catchiest and which ones have the same formulas that have landed #1 spots.
right.
So
Yeah,
to write a song and have it played like on radio and for it to like really catch, you know, there's a lot more behind it than just luck. There's a lot more behind it than just luck.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of famous superstars and in any genre, I'd say, that don't write their own music.
Oh yeah.
And
yeah,
there's writers out there. Obviously, I mean, like record labels own publishing companies. They own, they hire people to songwrite 8 hours a day to write songs. And that's what they do for a living.
Would you do that? Would you be into that?
Oh yeah. I would love that.
Just love that?
Dude, I would love that. Or I would love to be like an A&R for a record label.
Really?
Dude, to go out and find some of these people that are
just find a good musician.
Talented.
Right.
That are just like that you're like, man, why isn't this person huge yet? Like, why aren't they huge? Because, dude, I've seen so many musicians that I've heard perform or even on the streets and stuff. And I know you've probably seen like some of the videos and stuff on Facebook too. And it's like, why did this person never make it?
Right.
Why?
There's some people that are just super, super talented.
And it blows my mind.
Yeah.
It blows my mind that someone that talented will never get the credits, the credit they deserve.
Because right, and a lot of times too, I feel like it's
or some of these guys,
a lot of it's
and girls,
yeah,
who do make it. They get their start from songwriting because they write a song and somebody they know is like, oh man, this sounds so good, you should cut it on your next record. And they cut it and it goes whatever, gets heard. Well, then that they become the next biggest thing. And they're like, oh man, you got to work with them because they're such a great songwriter and blah, 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 blah. And then they just start collaborating with everybody else. And it just kind of gets lost. That's why you have a lot of the same songs literally on radio that
I think
are
it's
so similar.
Yeah, I think it's interesting when you talk about melodies being like the same, you know.
Dude, they did that mashup with like I don't know, songs from 20 years ago until now, and they're literally the same 4 chords, just maybe different chord progressions or maybe like they change the lyrics and that's it. And it's really funny how our brains work. It's because it's just like, let's see, what songs are there?
Like you told me that the one
like literally there's tons of songs.
Boulevard Broken Dreams was one.
Yeah, and Oasis.
Yeah, Wonderwall.
Wonderwall. They're literally the same chords, same melody, and for some reason our brains are like,
love that
man,
shit. It's a good song.
We love the way those chords sound together when they're coming out of that guitar.
Love that shit. Love that shit.
And our brains are funny like that. That's why I said it's like so hard for someone to even want to tap their foot when they hear a song. Like it has to, like your brain is like, yeah.
How yeah.
But for some reason our brains click into those chords, and literally it was like the same 4 chords for like the last 20 years of music or whatever that have been played over and over. Or what's really funny is all these, I love Luke Combs, but I play guitar and I know all the chords for all those songs are the exact same.
Right. Yeah.
They may be in a different key, but they are played in the same shape. I guess you would call it, or whatever.
Right.
On guitar. But look at the guy.
Killing it.
He's had like 8 number ones.
Right.
And they all consist of the same chords.
Killing it. Holla Luke Combs. Holla.
Yeah, Luke Combs. Love you, dog. But literally, what is that song? Beer Never Broke My Heart.
Yeah, that's a hot one.
Literally, the entire verse. The entire verse for that song is played with one chord, a D.
Yeah, that's nuts.
But
man. It's nuts.
It's crazy.
Right. Yeah, it's insane.
It's insane.
Yeah,
insane.
And
how that works.
And I think it's also insane too if you think about the fact of like writing and coming up with this shit is so hard.
And phrasing it.
Yeah,
and then all flow.
Right, and then it's like the hardest part, and then somebody else can just come and listen to it right after that, and then just learn it, and then they're like, "This is good." Like they just do it like that easy.
Wow.
And it's like that with anything, you know, like when things are hard to come up with, but then the next person, well, why didn't you phrase it like this? Well, because I had to come up with the rest of the song, or you know what I mean? Like it's
what is that? Gosh dang it.
Come on, Cary Miller.
My brain just farted. It's just like what the heck is that song? It starts off with piano.
Man, I'm gonna know what the hell that is.
I'll think of it.
Yeah. It starts off with piano. Right.
There's tons of them.
Yeah.
Gosh dang it. I can't remember the guy's name who wrote the piano piece or whatever, but I think it might have been a Journey song.
Don't stop believing. That song?
Yeah. That's it.
Yeah.
Why couldn't I think of that? The opening, the piano part or whatever to that song.
Right.
They didn't come up with that.
Really?
Yeah, they didn't even write the song.
Did not know that.
No.
Come on, Journey.
It's
a classic.
There was some dude, I can't remember his name, but he was in Nashville and he was struggling because he was chasing his dreams.
Right.
And like he called his dad because he was upset and down or whatever. And his dad, the last thing his dad said on the phone when he hung up, he's like,
"Don't stop believing.
Don't stop believing."
Damn.
And he went over to the freaking piano and started writing that. And it just came out because he was so inspired.
Right.
That, you know,
that's
his
insane.
dad
and then
told him don't stop believing that he wrote that.
And then they blow it up and the guys like they took credit for my song was assholes.
Well, I'm sure he got, I'm sure he got royalties.
It's just not the same.
He's still getting royalties.
Right.
On that
but it's
song
just not the same, you know.
You know, everybody in a bar or anywhere
knows that song.
They play that song on the jukebox or a band plays that song or whatever and everybody goes nuts.
Yeah, I'm sure the dude is
he's
hella well
living
off.
He lives well off of that song, which is crazy.
Yeah.
How much money is made
right
just from songs. It's insane, dude. Once you start digging into it,
Yeah.
it's wild. It is very, very wild.
Living on that Cary Miller Band bank. What up?
It's very wild. I would totally let people play my songs. I don't like I said, I don't care about being the front man.
Right.
You know?
Just like I don't
have
the
to be
cool
Robert
thing,
Plant with my leg hiked up on the speaker.
Yeah, I think that's cool though. You know, loving the craft.
Hey, mama.
Yeah.
You know, I ain't got to be that guy.
Right.
I just want anything music, but I think it'd be really cool to be like an A&R for a label.
Yeah.
I think I would do very well. I wouldn't just bring them everyone. I wouldn't be like, oh my gosh, you're so good.
Yeah, good.
Come on. Like, oh my gosh, you're so good.
You'd have a bus full of people.
Yeah. But I guarantee you, I could probably find somebody who's like
top level shit.
Well, not even having numbers or whatever, and be like
just a good musician.
Yeah, just a good musician, good songwriter, and make them into something huge. They could take bums.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Dude, literally, they could take somebody off of the street nowadays if they wanted to.
Yeah.
And turn them into.
And I think that's what
a superstar.
That's what the internet does. You know, I mean, anyone that has access to that shit. I mean, obviously, you can't produce, just like we covered in the very beginning. You can't produce a #1 hit off your cell phone. But what you can do is you can write a good song, put together some shit that makes sense, get a fair amount of time in it and playing it, and then put it on your phone, and somebody will hear it, and if it has a ring to it or it sounds decent or whatever, they can hit you up.
Yeah, dude, and word of mouth is huge. Yeah. I don't even internet still isn't even all that great for free advertising, because guess what you can do on the internet? If I post something, you can do this right by it.
Yep.
And not even stop on it.
Right.
So I still honestly believe that word of mouth is the best way to get something around, because now you can't say, oh man, I didn't see it. I didn't see it. No, I told you.
I told you about it.
I told you about it.
Yeah.
There's no getting around it.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. And I don't think that'll ever be taken away. At least not by anything that we have right now, technology wise, I don't think.
But yeah, dude, word of mouth alone, I know there's tons of people here in Indiana that have heard.
Oh yeah.
Cary Miller Band. 1, being you. 2, being Cowboy.
Yeah.
Todd.
Yeah.
And other people that I know. There's a few buddies and my brother and all your friends. I mean, all your friends are going around, anytime they can or whatever, when they remember. I don't expect people to be like, oh, look at the Cary Miller Band. Having a street team.
Yeah, it's not like that though.
Like Jehovah's Witness.
Yeah.
Hey,
y'all heard
the Cary Miller Band.
Y'all heard of Cary Miller? What's up?
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So anything helps, and I'm super appreciative of everything that anybody does.
Yeah. Look up Cary Miller on iTunes or Spotify.
If I haven't never said thank you.
Cary Miller. All right, man, let's wrap this shit up. So, we'll leave it at this. I think if you just kind of recap some shit, if you get a chance, look up the B Team. It's now official. It's on iTunes. It's on Spotify. It's soon, within the next week or so.
Make a sign for the B Team.
Yeah, there you go. That one. the B Team. No, so if you're listening,
here's the B.
If you are listening and Cary's an idiot, the B Team now is available on iTunes. It's also available on Spotify. If you are a Stitcher listener, it will soon be on Stitcher, about 5 days or so, as well as Google. So it's going to be on there within the next week or so. I'd like to thank a lot of my sponsors. Ramers, thank you guys. The Clearance Aisle, the Broadwater Group, Attica Vapors, Wild Graphics, County Market. Man, you guys have helped out, and I got a new one on the list now, Bobcat. Thank you guys, Bobcat of Lafayette. If you can, go like their Facebook page. They're a great group of folks. They are very family-oriented, and they're working with those guys is like working with family. Honestly, I'm not just saying that. They're legit good people, and they're super easy to deal with, man. I've never bought anything there, so I can't say on that. But just being around all of them, I would put those people up there just like my family. They're really good people to deal with. And if you've never heard of Cary Miller or the Cary Miller Band, it is available on all major platforms, iTunes, Spotify, Google, YouTube, and one of the music videos is shot by me. Holla!
Word.
So thank you guys for listening.
Brandon
Let's
does a
wrap
great
this.
job.
I love working with other people. I love doing the things.
Brandon will shoot your next wedding video, or
yeah, sure. Send me a message. I'll get back with you. But if you guys are interested in any of my stuff, I do have new merch is going to be coming out. You can get you one of these sweet Donald Trump shirts. It says America's full, Clark. And it is on my website. My website is www.brandonbriles.com. Also, the links for this podcast are going to be at the bottom of my website before long. So you're going to be able to go right to them and click and then listen in. It won't be live, but you'll be able to listen to all of my podcast episodes, including this one.
And go snag Cary Miller Band, Beginner's Luck.
Yes.
Off of iTunes.
Yes.
Google Play.
Yes.
Spotify.
Yes.
And wherever else you get music from.
Holla.
In the digital realm.
All right. Well, I'm gonna call this a day. Cary Miller, thank you very much for coming.
Dude,
I love you,
thank
brother.
you.
You know I love you. All right, man. And if you guys get a chance, share this video. This is a part 2. Part 1 is also going to be on my Facebook page. If you missed it, once this is uploaded, I'm going to combine both of them, so it's just going to be one solid podcast. But thank you guys very much, and I'll see you all Thursday. Adios.